The Guild Wars 2 challenge that I set out on is really evolving fast. I started this challenge last week, but more so I started opening it up to the community, and it is actually becoming a larger event or a larger happening occurrence than I initially intended. Something that I intended on being an individual challenge that I would embark on is now becoming a pretty big community event. In short, you have the opportunity to make a big change in Guild Wars 2 by participating. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. In short, my idea was to make a legendary weapon on a free-to-play account. I released my video, I started my account, but then something kind of crazy happened. I saw my boy Sneb working on the most cursed bullshit challenge I've ever seen in my life. So I reached out, I memed him on Reddit to farm karma, of course, and then I told him about the legendary challenge, the challenge that I was taking part in. And we started talking, and he liked the idea, and before I knew it, Teapot was saying that he would get involved, and then I invited Darren's, and then other partners wanted to get involved. So I made a guild. This is the classic hardcore CHC guild. I ended up making a Reddit post, which got a lot of feedback, and it might result in updating some of the rules. In short, if you want to get involved into the hardcore scene, make a free-to-play account on North America. We are standing up the community there, and you could use your favorite creators free-to-play account links to support their channels if you want. You can use mine, you can use Teapot's or whoever's. But let's talk about the goal changes or the rule changes, if you will. When I initially stood this up, I was thinking about what can be done to make this challenge run a challenge, a singular goal that many people can easily understand. Every good challenge has this. Like, so back in Guild Wars 1 Day, the legendary defender of Ascalon is to get max level in pre-searing, or the tutorial area of Guild Wars Reforged now. It was a community-driven goal, exploiting a bug to level up enemy monsters through dying to them over and over again. And it was monotonous and it was annoying, but it eventually made its way to become a legitimate title in the game, with a daily quest system to support the players to give it an actual achievable path without exploiting this weird mechanic. So with this run, this classic hardcore run that we're standing up, is that outside of there being a legendary weapon, there's an alternative goal, which for me is something that I would consider doing after completing the legendary. I intend to play solo largely through my challenge. That is kind of my goal. I'm going to play with teams to do dungeons, and outside of that, who knows? The legendary route is better for me personally, but there is another goal that I thought about, but I'm not actually sure if it's possible, and that is Old Lion's Court. You see, the core game does have a big final boss, but it's not Zaitan. So the core free-to-play game experience ends after Living World Season 1. The attack on Lion's Art, Scarlet Briar, all of that stuff. The actual final boss of the core free-to-play experience is Old Lion's Court, which has a challenge mode available on free-to-play accounts. It is one of the more challenging encounters in the game, so completing it on a free-to-play account on hardcore mode with no deaths would be quite the accomplishment. The legendary hero of Lion's Art, if you will. But I'm very excited because I'm also in work with Delta, the founder of Raidcore.gg. They make the Nexus add-on manager for Guild Wars 2. They're big gamers, big community members. Sometime in the future, likely before I'm able to complete this challenge on myself, we will have a Guild Wars 2 community add-on that will serve to verify character deaths through the official API. So that way, when you are playing with other players, or you are trying to stand up your hardcore community, or you are doing a hardcore run, you can essentially attach your hardcore account's API to the Raidcore.gg server, and then the add-on will be able to check that API to ensure that you have never died. It can also check your account unlock status, so that way you can verify that they are indeed free to play and that they have 0 deaths, which is absolutely incredible for the hardcore scene as a whole. Now, there is no like, oh, offline deaths or keeping it quiet or having to ask for screenshots in a Discord channel. There will be irrefutable integrity to the hardcore scene in Guild Wars 2 sometime in the future. That's something that I'm working with him on. He's doing all the work actually, so shout out Delta, absolute GW2cHC. Definitely check out raidcore.gg and support those guys. But once this actually gets devved and launched and everything, I think it will eventually be mandatory to sign up via the website, throw your hardcore account, free-to-play account's API on there, install the plugin, so that way you can be a part of these guilds that are like verified hardcore. Like, we don't have verified hardcore servers in Guild Wars 2, but this would kind of act as a hardcore verification. But for right now, it's all based on the honor system. So if you're interested in this, you don't gotta wait until that's developed. Just get in there. It's the honor system right now. Don't be a dirtbag. Beyond that, the Guild Wars 2 classic hardcore scene is actually starting to take shape. It's like well beyond the legendary challenge at this point. Now we have the OLCCM version and that goal set and so on. And I really think what makes this challenge so good is that the barrier to entry is literally zero. Like, if you play on EU, you could just spin up an NA account for free and join in. If you already have an NA account, you can just make a free-to-play account as your hardcore account. And really what I found is that the goal isn't really the grind of it. Like, you are playing the game, you are enjoying the game. It's crazy how different free-to-play feels from retail realistically, like without gliding, without mounts. Because in retail, like when I see a champ mob group event, like some random crate or something, I'll just go solo it. I don't care. But on hardcore, it's completely different. The dumbass champion bandits in low level zones with the legendary executioner are literally death. Random group events, literally death. Random vistas that you would normally sky scale to in like 1.4 seconds, literally death. There's a lot of beauty to that, really, and I'm having a blast. I'm really excited to see what comes of it. And if you make a hardcore account, drop your tag in the comments section and I will get you into the guild on the NA server. Make sure it's on the NA server. We're not doing a server split. We should basically have people playing all of the time since we are all on NA. We have South American gamers like Darren's, we have all the NA gamers, we have Australia and Oceania, and if we get European players that are playing on NA, then we'll have people online all the time. There's one slight change that I think I need to bring up, and it's something that I was talking to Sneb about, and it's the massive elephant in the room for the legendary challenge. Something at this point, I think the ship has kind of sailed, but let me get into it. Let's talk about world versus world. Gift of battle is required for legendary weapons, and when I posted on Reddit, and I hate Reddit by the way, pretty much everybody said, yeah, this is kind of impossible because world versus world has to happen, and it's kind of impossible to get the gift of battle without dying in world versus world. And my initial solution, and part of the reason why I picked Thief as my hardcore character, was so that way I'd have like really good disengage. Like, I'd have as much disengage as possible in world versus world. There are reveals, and with the war claw it makes it hard, but like that was the best chance I could get. I would max PvT and just flip camps, kill little guards, camping their outposts and so on, killing Doliacs and all that shit. But at this point, especially with the establishment of a guild with the CHC tag, that would become a rallying point for the hardcore community. It would either be we would have to establish like amnesty for CHC characters within the world versus world community, or more likely to happen was CHC would become a target for every roamer in the game, which is kind of why I need to make these changes. Free to play has 2 character slots. So in essence, you could have your hardcore character, your main, and what I would call a world versus world character, where during leveling, you would treat it as a hardcore character. You still need to get to max level, and you can still account share your resources while you're in PvE if you have 0 deaths. But once you hit level 80, that character would essentially become world versus world only. To get the gift of battle, you would then transfer the gift of battle and then delete the character. So you wouldn't get all the little bonuses from the world versus world tracks or the pips or any of that stuff. Like, once that character goes into world versus world, you literally are there just for the gift of battle. You transfer that off your account and then you delete the character alongside all the other goodies that you get. It seems kind of cheesy a little bit. I don't like that solution a whole lot, but it is kind of the most realistic perfect solution for the world versus world problem. It does take some of the stress out of this challenge. Like, there still is a lot of challenge, even if you're not going to go for OLCCM. But I was just kind of intending on sneaking around on Thief during off-peak hours. But with the hardcore community growing and the interest that it's attracting, that solution really isn't an option. And it's not a very fun option. And I guarantee Teapot, Sneb, and Darren's will likely end up with stream snipers, and that's not fun. Fortunately for me, I have no viewers when I go live, so it's all good. But yeah, so that's the update. I'm level 30. I'm sure Teapot's going to be level 50 after day one when he starts. He has to cast Race the World's First here. Darren's, I believe, has already started by the time this video goes live. And this event, if that's what you want to call it, is open to anybody who wants to join. Well, once again, it's open to anybody who wants to join. And once I get the add-on done, or once Delta gets the add-on done, he's doing all the work, and we get that loaded, we can see who's been lying about dying to level 1 crab. It'll be a really good time. So with OLC, CM, and legendary weapons, there's a lot to do in free to play. I also might shoot for Dungeoneer instead of doing OLC. I'm not really sure. It all kind of depends on the community. You know, if there's a large community of hardcore players that are constantly playing, that are in the guild, that want to do dungeons and want to do this different stuff, like, I think, yeah, you should play with them over playing with retail players. And I might do some more Q&A on the rules. This is all kind of evolving as it goes. But while some people feel like you shouldn't be allowed to play with retail players, I think overall, as long as you're not doing anything outright blatantly in bad faith, it should be fine. Like, if I put a dungeon LFG up and nobody's online and experienced players join alongside new non-hardcore players, I think that's fine. As long as you don't just AFK and leech, or you try to speed level or get boosted or carried intentionally, it should be all right. The run is meant to be challenging, but overall it's meant to be fun. So don't worry too much about the rules. And if you're intentionally exploiting, sending yourself stuff from your main account or whatever, that's obviously in bad faith and against the spirit of the challenge itself. So just enjoy the challenge, take the restrictions as puzzles to be solved, and have a good time. And if you get tired or you're getting bored of it, hop on your main account and play retail. Like, there's no problem. Anyway, I've been ranting about this for too long now. I just thought I'd share an update. I'm really excited about what this is turning into and what it could mean for the long-term hardcore scene in Guild Wars 2. So with that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.